Welcome back to the Art of Crochet blog, and this is square number 29, and we're back to going straight backwards and forwards. So I've made a chain of 20 with our lovely new turquoise yarn, and then we're going to do half trebles. So into the third chain, so 1, 2, 3, and that means you get your 2 standing chain. So the third half treble is where you go through all 3 loops on the hook. So there we are. So yarn over, try and go under 2 bars in the chain, or whatever you do, just do it the same every time so it's consistent. There we are, and that makes a nice solid fabric, so we're going to be doing that all the way along to the end. So on the second row we're going to do a 2 chain. No, I've done mine already to get you up to the height, and then 1 half treble in every stitch all the way to the end. So here we are at the end of that second row, and we're going to do final half treble into the top of the standing chain, and instead of pulling that yarn through, cunningly I've got the purple yarn already, and I'm going to pull that one through. So if you pull the turquoise one, it will sort of hold it firmly, and then for the beginning of that row you make 2 chains and then turn it, and then we're going to do half trebles, another 2 rows in the purple, exactly how you did the first one. So working into this stitch first. Okay, at the end of the 4th row, and again you get to the last stitch with the purple, and you can join on your lime green yarn, pull it firm, and the same again, we're going to make 2 chains, and then off we go. Great colour combo. So here I am at the last stitch of the second lime green row, and what I need to do is to pick up the turquoise yarn, which is back down here, for the next row. So I'm just going to float it up the side without pulling it too tight. Let it be the length that it needs to be, and then pull it through that last stitch. Oh, dropped it. And make sure it's not too tight, so it just rests gently. It'll get sewn into any edging that you do later on, so it doesn't matter if it's a little bit baggy. And then you've got the turquoise ready for your next row, and all the floaters will go, because they're even rows, the floaters will all go up the same side of the square. Here we are at the end of the second purple row, and I'm going to show that changing colour again. So pick up the colour that you want next, lime green in this case, and get ready to work with that, and try and pull it through without pulling it too tight. So see, if you pull it too tight, it's going to ruck up your square. So keep the square flat and a little bit loose. These are quite loose, and then you can start the next row. I'm loving these colours. One of the difficult things with making these straight backwards and forwards squares is keeping the sides straight, and one of the things that you have to do here is to count your standing chain as the first stitch, and then when you've done your 16 stitches in the row below, you get to the end and you make one into the previous standing chain. So it looks like I've got to the end of the row, but I still need to do this one here. And instead of going into the hole, into that gap, go into that second chain, which can sometimes be a bit of a battle, but it looks better if you can get into the chain there. And then you've got the right number of stitches to start the next row. And I'm going to, what I like to do is to take in that floater. So when I sew in this end into the stripe of the right colour, I'm just going to pull that little floater in so it's a bit more contained, and then I'll go a bit further along the row. And one thing you can do is to pull the yarn tight, a bit tighter than it should be before you cut it, and then when you push it flat, the end disappears into the work. Now this square, I've got my label, and we're going to put the label on the other side so that the floaters are on the left. And there's my label, that's square number 29.